8:55, Big 550 KTRS. Our next guest is no stranger to the show, Yellow Farmhouse Winery owner Dale Rawlings. Dale, good morning.
Morning.
Highway 94 to Defiance. It's the first winery you get to, right next to Larry Connor's and the Biker Bars is Yellow Farmhouse Winery. You've owned it how long now?
We're in our 10th year out there.
And how long did it take you before the grapes started producing wine?
Well, it takes 3 years normally, 3 seasons to get a crop. So we planted our grapes in 05. We got our first crop in 07.
Right.
And, of course, we had our first crop just in time for the big freeze of 07.
Right.
So we lost 100% of the crop to the freeze.
Of course, and that's sort of the nature of the beast, I guess.
Life of a farmer.
How are things going down there?
Great. We're just releasing our new Norton, and that's our big gun for this year.
And you're really proud of this Norton.
We are. This is the Norton of 2012, the red hot summer where we had a record-setting drought, we had a record-setting run of temperature, and the grapes were stressed just perfectly.
And so people not only come by Yellow Farmhouse Winery, enjoy the hillside, enjoy the stone pavilion, but also they come by and pick up a couple of bottles on their way.
Lots. We have a lot of people who buy wine, take it home, and a lot of this is going home and going into cellars because this is 3-year-old wine.
Right.
And this is just going to get nothing but better for the next several years.
And that's the thing about the Norton. It gets better over time.
And people ask me, how long will it last? I honestly don't know. I had some 25-year-old Norton a couple of years ago, and I couldn't believe how good it was. So
really?
Missouri wines, Missouri reds, tend to hold their taste and their flavor as the tannins fall off. The flavors come up and it just stays.
I know just enough to be dangerous when it comes to wine, but is a Norton kind of like a good cab? Is that safe to say?
Not really. They're a different family to begin with. Norton is a natural American wine. It grows in the woods here.
Okay.
It was discovered in Virginia, but Missouri is ground zero for American Norton. This is where the really good Norton comes from.
Right.
In fact, in 1873, a Missouri Norton won World's Best at the World's Fair in Vienna. So it's had a long run of good quality wine. And the reason is it's easy to grow, it loves Missouri's summers, it survives our winters, and it produces an interesting grape. Instead of being a long trailing grape bunch like regular grapes, the grape bunch looks more like a hand grenade. It's a round, tightly packed bunch, and it doesn't yield as much juice. We got to use a lot of grapes to get juice out of it. But when it flows, it's beautiful juice.
So in your wine expert voice, can you explain, is it oaky, is it sweet, what kind of notes does it have?
Well, this spends about 2 years in oak, Kelly, so you'd expect some oak to be in it, but red wines are harder to impart oak to than white wines. Mm-hmm. If we put a white wine for 2 years in a barrel like we do this line, it would be so oaky you probably wouldn't like it. I don't, anyway. Mm-hmm. But the reds take just a nominal amount of oak because they're a much harder wine to impart the oak flavor to.
And this 2012, you're saying, is the perfect storm for the Norton grape.
Yeah, when this juice came out, when we crushed it, we were looking at that juice and we said, wow, there's not as much of it. In other words, the crop wasn't that big. But boy, their juice was rich, it was pungent, it seemed compact.
Right.
It seemed like it had a lot of, body to it, even before we started fermenting it.
Right.
And we said, this is either going to be a great wine or it's going to be awful. Well, you know the old story, in a winery, you got to wait around for a couple of years to find out.
Yeah.
But that's what we did.
Well, you brought us a bottle, and so tonight, this Norton, this Yellow Farmhouse Winery Norton, is perfect with a nice, juicy red steak.
Yeah, or barbecue, either one. It's a great steak wine. It's a great barbecue wine, any strong meat. In fact, we have our Norton release party on June 27th, where we're going to have a dinner that will be a barbecued brisket.
Nice.
And it's a perfect wine for meats like that have a lot of body to them.
What do we need to know about Yellow Farmhouse Winery for the weekend?
Well, we're open Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, noon to 5 p.m. We have a couple of weddings going on this weekend.
Right.
And people are still getting married, believe it or not.
Believe it or not, God love them.
And we'd love to see them. And it's supposed to rain, but we got a big pavilion, keep the rain off you, so come on out.
Not only do you have a big pavilion, but you also have a big, giant, nice fireplace, too.
Yeah, and I hope we won't need that. I think they're talking maybe 80-degree weather Saturday and Sunday, and then a big drop-off on Monday. If that works that way, that fireplace isn't going to be of much use.
But that fireplace, though, in the fall, and that's nice, too, though.
Beautiful.
Highway 94, you can't miss it, right?
You got it.
Highway 94 to Defiance. How far is it from 40?
It's exactly 9 miles south of Highway 40.
can't beat it.
Easy.
Yellow Farmhouse Winery, and check out the 2012 Norton. If you can't stay, pick up a couple of bottles, but stay. Do yourself a favor and stay. Yellow Farmhouse Winery or yellowfarmhousewinery.com. Dale, thanks for coming in.
Thank